So, a lot has happened since the day I uploaded a video on Catlyn. Her YouTube got banned, she moved to TikTok, and is still stealing from fynt and her servers got raided. While that's a lot of things in a small amount of time, let me slow down and explain what has happened in the past weeks. Hello everyone, I'm CGA Gatcher, editor and artist. Today we will be talking about Devil, Catlyn again. This video will be different from my last as the situation has been changing. This video will be in sections to explain the situation clearly. Section 1. Who is Devil Catlyn? Devil Catlyn is a 13-year-old girl who has been stealing content from YouTubers such as fynt and many others. She mainly steals from fynt. She had a YouTube channel that soon got terminated for stealing content. She is now currently on TikTok and is still stealing content. Many have tried reporting her, but TikTok hasn't done anything. Section 2. Art theft. Catlyn has not only been stealing videos, but also art. She would steal art and blur the water trademarks even, though it's very noticeable that something is wrong with them. She steals art from Chittery and has blamed Chittery for stealing when it's the opposite. People stating this to Catlyn and her server have gotten timed out. She says that she's been doing art for 2 years, but how can you say that if your so-called art isn't even yours? And not only did you steal her art, but her commissions, to which can be sued for if you were 18 or older. However, the fact that you're 13 doesn't mean you can do what you want, since you can still get a fine, and who would have to pay that fine would be your parents or current caretakers. Stealing people's commissions gives people the idea that you're open for commissions, and they'll start to ask you when you clearly cannot because none of the art is yours. Section 3. Her behavior towards fynt and others. Her behavior has been very stressful to deal with lately. Not only has she been disrespectful towards fynt by reducing his place as a human, being into a mere gender bend of rock, but she has also ruined most people's mental health. A certain user called Sens called her out before a while back. Catlyn got mad at this and started to steal Sens' content. This guy wasn't going to let Catlyn do that, so he confronted her. Catlyn started to insult him, and along with her friend they sent death threats. Not to mention this friend of hers is racist and has said offensive things about black people, calling them ugly, and much more, which is truly disrespectful. Black people are still human and should be treated equally as what you treat others. Catlyn not only stolen Sens' content, but she went as far as blaming the guy for her friend's supposedly death, which I can't be sure if her friend is alive or not. Hope that Sens is doing better, as Catlyn broke his mental health, and I hope he recovers. Section 4. TikTok. After Catlyn got banned off YouTube, she moved to TikTok, and where she continued doing the same thing and re-uploading fynt's content and many others. She has tried to blur water trademarks, but she misses a few or has terrible editing. As you can see, she tried to cover fynt's name from both of these videos, but failed. She called fynt a gender bend of her ock despite her stolen PFP having blue hair. fynt is not a gender bend of your supposedly ock. He is a real human being with feelings. She also stole a name suggests from the femalish version of fynt, which is Ellie, a female name of Ayla's, which is fynt's ock. And yes, fynt has confronted her about this, and he got timed out from her server for a week on his out. He also got kicked out on his main. At the time, most people were trying to get her to stop on her main server. I wasn't aware of what mostly happened there because I didn't have her Discord. Section 5. First rating. Many people started to raid her server, which happened 3 times, so this is the first time she got raided. People started to send death threats, which is not okay at all. I don't really like Catlyn's decision, and I'm not a fan of people getting raided. I had no idea she got raided. until recently because I was not in her server. Section 6, second rating. After a while, people got tired of Catlyn's shenanigans and decided to raid her second server. Different people from the first raid, they pretend to be a fan or simply play dumb like many of us did. I found about this raid only recently as well when I got onto the Discord server, and I had nothing to do with it except for being in the same server as the people who did. These people would apply for mod or add a bot, which ended up spamming Catlyn's second server with text calling her a content stealer, which is less concerning than the first raid. Catlyn left the server as if nothing has happened. Section 7, third reading. I need bleach. This time I was actually in the server as we all went undercover and played along with Catlyn's shenanigans. I went on and out and pretended to be a huge fan and started asking questions in order to gain her trust and can get her off the platform, which is rude of me, so I apologize deeply. This was all for a good reason, however, and it's also for her own safety as she could get docked on that platform. Hours later on my main, I hear that her server got raided not by any of us, but rather completely grown adults and a 16-year-old. I logged onto my out, and I'm completely disturbed when I log on the server and see a bunch of NSFW images and GIFs being spammed. Keep in mind Catlyn is 13, a minor. Many of us were disturbed and disgusted by this. Everyone that was undercover kept mentioning Catlyn and a mod, but neither of them responded. We went as far as calling, but still nothing. We all tried to get them to stop and try to get Catlyn to do something about it, which didn't succeed because no one answered. They also sent Rule 34 in a server that might as well be full of children. What kind of sick person sends NSFW images to a minor? Not only that they sent IP grabbers, which unfortunately one of the people witnessing this with everyone else, and they clicked on this link, and his IP was being leaked. Fortunately, he left that server and was getting some advice to not get his IP leaked. I feel bad for him as he seemed very scared and had no idea what to do at that moment. He had trouble sleeping afterwards. Another person found out how random strangers raided her server. I won't go into details because I don't want this person blaming themselves even more for a simple mistake. Don't worry, I don't blame you for it. We all make mistakes. That same person was told by one of the raiders that they would pay them. This part is off the script I made. As of March 29, fynt decided to file a complaint on her. All the evidence in this video is to help fynt. Catlyn has made an old account and has said terrible things. She impersonates fynt to try to make him look bad. She has sent death threats, uncomfortable triggering topics, and offended trans people and furries. Despite fynt being a trans male, so it doesn't make sense that fynt himself would offend trans people. She even called fynt a pedo when there's actually no evidence to back up her claim. All fynt has done is try to get you to stop, but you're too self-absorbed to listen. Besides, you've just called yourself out. I'm currently trying to help fynt and others behind the scenes of this situation. On my out, that's as much info as I can give. Now back to the OG script. Section 8. Why this is wrong. I'm sure you guys can see why it's wrong to do things like the first and third raid. You don't send death threats to anyone regardless of what they've done, especially not a minor. As someone who has been sent death threats before, let me tell you that it's not a pretty experience. Harassing won't help anyone. I get Catlyn is stubborn, but sending an SFW doesn't help, but rather will ruin her mental health. She is a minor and this behavior is absolutely disgusting. If you send an SFW to a minor, you are a sick person and honestly disgust me. Section 9. Ending. Harassment doesn't help at all, so don't do it. I'm honestly so concerned for her mental health. After all that, and even now as I'm writing this, I'm trying to progress just what happened. I'm currently logged out of my out to take a break from all of that. I hope you understand the situation. Consider supporting fynt and try to goodbye everyone.